All right, yo, welcome to Father Figure. I am super excited today, Ricky, because we got our friend Andy Mineo with us today. Andy's been a friend for a minute. He is an artist, platinum artist, creative, just overall amazing human being who has stepped into fatherhood recently. So I'm super excited to have him on. Andy, thank you for being here today,
Thanks
bro.
for having me. I'm glad you guys are launching cool stuff for dads.
Figuring it out, man. Every single
Cool
day,
stuff for
man.
dads. That's what we should have named it.
Cool stuff for dads.
That's it.
So I kind of want to get into it. I know you just became a dad. How old is your son right now?
3 months, so I don't have much to share besides stay alive.
Exactly. That's a key element for sure. Taking it back a little bit, I know we chatted a little bit, but I really want to paint this picture of the season of life that you've kind of come from and that you're stepping into right now.
Uh huh.
How is pregnancy for you, your wife, and how has that progressed to now? So can you give me a little bit about that experience because it was a little unique?
Yeah. Um. Well, leading up to even before we decided to have a kid, there was a lot of like trepidation and even like starting the process. I think because I think one thing that I always dealt with as a recording artist was like, um, I was like, I don't know if I want to have a kid too early and still be touring and be running around and making music and doing all that. So I felt like it would be unfair if I had a kid and I was like not there through like that whole process of what we're about to talk about, which is
Yeah.
Christina being pregnant, birth, the whole fourth trimester of helping out with the kid. I was like, man, it's just I felt like it would be so wrong if I was out on the road and trying to fly family in to help just to get by. So I was trying to set it. I mean, that's normal if people have to do that to get through, but I really didn't want to be in that stage of life. And so now I'm kind of like, did I wait too long to start having kids? So it felt like a tension in the conversation in the first place between me and Christina, like, when are we gonna try to do this?
What were some of those steps that you took in that first like thought process to get into that space?
Oh, so some of them was our close. So we have different groups of friends who have had kids at different times. So we have friends that had kids 16 years ago. And
Yeah.
so now we're the godparents, and like I got a 16-year-old godson, I got 12-year-old goddaughter. Like, so we missed that first wave. But now
Hmm.
some of our closer friends from are starting to have kids right now, and we were like, all right, should we jump in now and kind of be in the same step as some of our closest friends? You know what I'm saying, lifestyle wise, because we knew um, if we missed this cycle, then it's harder to do vacations, it's harder to do hangouts, it's hard, all that stuff. You got a 6-year-old and a
Absolutely.
and a
That's
six.
where I'm at now. Yeah, 100%. I two under two, and none of my friends have kids.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
mean that
it's
was part of
miserable.
the selection process, like the timing process for us
Right.
to try. I mean, I know this is out of our hands entirely. Like, you can't just get pregnant if you want to. So
Yeah.
we were like, all
But I
right,
think
maybe we
it's
should start
interesting to
trying
hear.
now.
Yeah, it's
Right.
interesting to
Right.
hear the process that you thought about more so. Because
Yeah.
similar to us, we were married. Ricky had kids after 2 months of
I
dating.
met my girl, and 2 months later she got pregnant, and then 8 months later she got pregnant again, like after birth. So she gave birth 8 months
All
after
right.
that.
Whoa. I
Yeah,
was like
bro.
8 months later. Wait, wait, wait,
Just
wait. Super kids. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
but hearing your perspective, sorry to interrupt, but like would love like how did that so friendships at first, kind of looking at the season and then maybe what happened after kind of
Yeah.
that as
So it was
well.
looking at friendships. It was looking at I think COVID helped a lot of people too, like transition out of a lot of their regular rhythms and rethink them. So that's when I built the studio at the crib. So I was like, if I needed to literally work and pop over to help, I could do that. Um,
Were you thinking about too? Because I know you moved from New York to Atlanta. Were you thinking about that in that season too, or were you just
that was
already?
initially just to be financially stable, and I think that's part of the conversation because
Yeah,
it's like renting in New York, which is what we did forever, because you can't really buy there unless
yeah,
you want to buy a $6 million property. It
a
was
one
just
bedroom.
like it was just like, oh, we could actually move to Atlanta and start investing in real estate and have a lower cost of living. And so we went, and I had, the label I was signed to at the time was out of here. So I was like, I could work out of here. Atlanta's got an airport I could fly out of direct anywhere. right? It was all those things that were like, how can I set my family up for the future? And even though we didn't have kids at the time, there was a window that I was like, everything I do for this next 5 years is going to be about making money, because I want to step into the next phase of when I have kids is for me to be able to say no to certain shows, or not have to commit to things I don't necessarily want to do or take me away from my family, and we'd be okay, you know?
Yeah.
And so like that was a lot of the selection process for me. And I probably overdid it somewhat, you know, because people have kids at 17 and they figure it out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's no perfect way to do it, but we were trying to build it for us that would give us a lifestyle we wanted. And fortunately, it's worked out that way. But I know that sounds like mad privilege to say, but that was like
but I think
a lot of the thinking. We want to be aligned with our friends. We want to be good in a good place financially. And we want to have maybe a yard or a place for this kid to run around. I mean, you have them in New York City, they get to run around Central Park, so that's awesome too.
yeah. No, yeah, it's New York. I think about that all the time. We were, in a similar setting. We were married for 7 years before we had our son. So it was like we were prepping. I was trying to figure it out, just throwing stuff at the wall, like get a new job, trying to figure out the process.
Yeah.
So I think people need to hear that. I think dads need to hear that process of how to think through, or people who are thinking about fatherhood. How do you prep? What are some realistic, tangible things that you can actually think about, that people don't really prepare you for until you get into a setting of this,
Yeah. No, and everybody thinks about it. I mean, maybe not everybody.
Yeah.
But everybody thinks to agree, like, I'm not ready, And I will not lie that there was definitely fear in the preparation process. Like, is this going to ruin my life? Am I not going to have any more free time? All my friends who are married, I don't get to do nothing with them no more. Or they have kids, I'm not going to do nothing. So it became one of those things where it was like, when is it going to be go time, and will I be prepared for it?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something we all got to think through. But you can really think your way into not ever having kids.
Yeah.
And that,
we talk about that too, because society, man, it's tough out here. Like my taxes in New York are crazy, bro. No matter what I make here, it's in half pretty much.
I mean, I just left LA because of that reason. Like, we left LA after the birth of my daughter because I didn't get the prep time, because obviously we got pregnant 2 months after meeting. But then when my daughter was born, and she was born in Los Angeles, I'm like, I don't want to raise you here. And then my son was born in Arizona, where we live now. And I'm like, man, it's such a better lifestyle for them. And it's like funny how you change everything for someone you don't even know yet.
Yeah.
Like that was the prep you were doing. And I got to prep a little bit more with my son because I was a seasoned father. But all of the prep I did was for someone I've never even met yet.
Sure.
It's just crazy the way your heart grows as a father.
Yeah, straight up.
So I know we talked before a little bit about your process of pregnancy and that, and how tough it was, or it was just a little bit of a unique experience for both of you guys. Can you tell me a little bit about how that process was for you, and maybe what you were feeling at the time?
Yeah, I can't pat myself on the back here. I didn't carry anybody for 9 months, but
absolutely, we always preface we didn't do the heavy lifting here.
Yeah, let's talk about your girl's
like,
individual pregnancy.
It did change the dynamic, obviously, between my wife and I, but she obviously had to, carry the bulk here. But she did have a difficult pregnancy because she got what's called hyperemesis. And it's essentially vomiting nonstop. And it's a pretty scary thing because it dehydrates you, and like 1 out of 3 or something of the pregnancies are terminated because it can mess with the embryonic fluid, and there's not enough of that. And so it was a pretty scary process because we'd be driving to a meeting, and I have videos, all this stuff. I don't know if I should have been filming, but part of me was like, this is wild. It's just when your closest friend starts puking, part of you wants to be like, oh shoot, let me grab a video. All right. It's just maybe from the college days. But it was like every other day. She'd be driving in the car going to a meeting, and she'd be like, yo, pull over. Yeah.
How soon did she get diagnosed for that?
It was, we thought it was just morning sickness. So it took
I was going to say, it probably took a while.
So from the jump, you thought
to figure out. Yeah. And it
took
like going into, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
The first trimester, I agree with, like, it's morning sickness, like you said. Like, it would take a while for you to be like, oh, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's normal because people, people feel nauseous, right? So we just thought it was that, but then it was like not stopping for extended periods of time. And we had to go into the doctor's office. And it was a really scary moment because she was like, we were just doing a checkup and she starts explaining what was happening to the doctor. And the doctor starts like kind of like, she's letting Christina finish, but she's like kind of wiggling in her seat, like visibly uncomfortable. And Christina's like, yeah, I'm starting to taste like fruit taste in my mouth and stuff. And the doctor was like, hang on. That means like ketones are in your bloodstream. And that means like you're extremely dehydrated. And that is like not good. She like freaked out. She's like, we need to get you IV fluids immediately. Wow. So we were like, oh. And, you know, obviously being dehydrated depletes you of everything. Your energy, you know what I'm saying? Your brain functionality, all that. So we were like, from her throwing up so much, she was so behind the 8 ball that like trying to just catch up to function at a normal level was so difficult. We were getting IVs all the time. And then the IVs had their own side effects because that changes your blood pressure. You know, so it was just, it was a nightmare, man. And she was throwing up nonstop and always dehydrated, always feeling weak, and was kind of like bedridden for some of this process, you know? So it was scary for us. And it what we found out was there was a documentary at the time from Amy Schumer about her being pregnant, and she had hyperemesis.
Wow.
So we watched that documentary, and I just remember Christina sobbing because she was like, somebody understands.
She felt seen.
What I'm going through. And what's crazy is if you watch this documentary, hyperemesis for a long period of time, like from doctors, they didn't consider it a medical condition. They thought it was just women being hysterical or wanting attention or like all kinds of crazy stuff like that. I mean, it was nuts, dude.
That's an L, bro.
Big L. Big L. So you find out from this documentary about the history of it. And what happened was Amy Schumer, we have a mutual friend. She found out that Christina had this and asked for her number and called her out of the blue. So
this out of nowhere?
How genuine.
Wow.
Great. So and I was like, that shows you the level of
isolation maybe that they felt.
Yes. She's like, if anyone else has this and I have access to touch them or reach them or talk to them, I'm going to do it. I don't even care if I don't know them. Yeah. So Christina came out the bedroom one day and she was like, I just got done talking with Amy Schumer for an hour.
Wow.
And I was like, what? What is going on right now? And she was like, yeah, and her husband's going to call you? You know, it was just like a strange thing. But it was really to be with her in solidarity because it's such a painful thing that a lot of people don't understand or just think it's morning sickness or something, you know?
Yeah, and it just must be tough because everything you said, like my girl personally, both pregnancies, she had horrible first trimesters. And like, it sucks because in the world of pregnancy for women, and fathers probably do this in different ways, but for women, it's like some of the girls are like at the gym squatting in the first trimester. And like, you know, you see these videos on social media and I feel so bad. I feel for my girl. Yeah. She had to quit dancing for the Clippers when I got her pregnant the first time and dances her whole life. You know, she danced for the Knicks, now the Clippers. And she's like, dude, I don't feel good. Later, one of the Clippers dancers got pregnant. She danced all the way through the second trimester.
Wow.
And so it's just like these comparisons and you were listing like, you know, fatigue. I'm like, that sounds like the first trimester. So how long before you're like, wait, like something's going on here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Thank God that doctor paid attention and was able to advocate for you guys because
and then help her get on some medication that would help with it and stuff. We, you know, it was, I should have started a electrolyte company. I mean, the amount of electrolyte type of drinks and things that I was like researching is insane.
Drip drop and
yeah, bro, it's crazy. So, we got through it. The birth was a little gnarly too. So yeah, and then everything gets affected. Like I remember there were times that like, you know, birthday parties pop up. Yo, we got this crazy hibachi situation at Lecrae's house. Like pop over, everyone's about to eat. It's like, we're not going anywhere, bro.
Oh, wow.
And you start to feel that hit of like, we would normally just be running and gunning, having a good time, hang out. And it was like, no. You're isolated in the house all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And, you know, those are moments when Christina, like in her most candid moments, would be like, did I just ruin our life? Like, our life
she must have felt so much pressure.
So fun. running around doing whatever we want, say yes to everything. This is one thing I didn't realize before we had a kid. It's like when you marry somebody, you essentially marry another completely independent adult human.
Yeah.
So if you go, yo, I'm going to play basketball for 2 hours, they're like, go ahead. Right? And if you're like, you get done with basketball and like, these guys are going to grab a taco or something, I'm going to go with them. It's like, yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. There's like no, there's nothing else to worry about. Under these circumstances, it was like, I'd be afraid to leave the house.
Wow.
Because you can go into a coma. Like there's so many layers to what can happen if things, go down the wrong path. So I was like, I'm going to the grocery store. I have my phone on me. I got an Apple Watch just so I could get the notifications on the wrist and all that. And it became kind of that like watching thing the whole time.
And this is a long time. Like, let's not get away from the fact that this is 9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this isn't, this isn't something that you were dealing with for 30 days.
Right.
Like this is a very long and hard process. My heart goes out to you and your wife, bro. I'm glad you guys made it through it.
Yeah, she's a champion, dude. It's wild.
What were you thinking in that process? Like mentally, emotionally, like what was going through your head? Were you talking to people? How were you processing it?
The way that I like to process stuff is one, my wife and I both have people that we have agreed that we can say anything to.
Okay.
Like, so she's like, yo, that's so-and-so, you can tell them all about our marriage, all about our stuff. You can have a say, you know what I mean? And she's got the same thing too, because we know that they're mature adult people who are a little bit further along in life, also married, also have kids, and they won't judge you, and they'll also offer really solid advice. So she's like, yo, you need someone to talk to. So I would just confide in some of the guys. You just need a space to talk sometimes, and that was like a big help. Other people that went through it. And then the second thing for me is I try not to freak myself out by getting too far ahead.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just kind of think about this week at a time, and I think that helps me. Like, what can we do right now in this moment for the next, how can I prep meals for tonight? So she don't have to worry about something. It's just like, just do one day at a time. And then before you know it, the 9 months is up. But I could work myself into a panic if I start going deep, deep into how is this going to affect,
And pregnancy, I feel like when you be in that process as a partner, you're really just supporting. And to me, your mind can go way more back and forth. Like those 9 months, I mean, of course, she's going through it. So you're not trying to project anything on them.
That's right.
And you're like, you're kind of internalizing maybe your, like the scared thoughts you have, like the hesitations, all that. It's like a tough balance of like, how can I support? But I also kind of like, that's why, the community was so important for us is like, what am I doing?
I felt bad because I was like and I would have failed. Like you're a good man, bro. I would have failed miserably. I'm on the other side of the aisle where like, I'm like, everything's fine. Not everything. Like when my girl had the first trimester kind of sickness, like I knew she needed bed rest, but like if she was throwing up, I might have been, I try to level out the feeling, I'm like, nah, we're good. Like everything's straight. Like I know what you're going through. I'll hold your hair.
Yep.
And like the truth is she would have needed help. And so I try not to get into that fear mindset because my girl personally, she can really get into a place, bro. Like she could get onto Google and scare herself.
We've all had a WebMD moment.
Oh yeah, bro. Like she could be truly down bad. And so I gotta be that level-headed guy. So I commend you, bro, for just the man you had to show up as. And most importantly, I commend your wife. I don't want to get away from the fact that that's the woman that was going through it. Like as we all talk about it, like none of us went through it. So.
Yeah,
that's right. Well, you know what else helped too was my boy, as soon as I got pregnant, he was like, yo, check out this book. And he gave me this book, which is essentially, I forgot the name of this. Whoever owns that book is going to be so mad I didn't just plug them right now.
Is it every week?
Huh?
That it tells you every week?
Yeah, it's like every week what's going on. And I think the guy's from New York. And I put it on audiobook. And so every week that something was going on, I would just listen. It was a quick update. He's like, here's what you need to look out in your wife. Here's what's going on in her body. Here's what's going on in your kid. And there was one time I remember specifically, I had just got done listening to like 2 or 3 weeks ahead. It was like week 17, 18, 19. I was like, let me just listen to this week and a couple more. And Christina calls me and she's like, this is my wife. She goes, oh my God, I'm bleeding like out of my nose. I got a nosebleed. Like what's happening? Should we need to go to the ER? she's like, it's really heavy. And I was like, well, your blood production has increased this week.
Oh.
And I was told that if things could happen like in those, and that was so calming to her.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
was
it's
like,
dope.
oh my God, like we're okay. And because anything happens when you're pregnant, you're just like, I don't know, is this normal? Especially your first time. And so having that preparation brought all kinds of calm to her and even to me, right? So just one of those simple books that like week by week listen and you can know what's going on. That's a huge way to prepare for yourself and for your spouse or your girl or whoever.
Man, I love that.
Yeah, that's dope.
Talking about getting through that, where you are when you first have the birth and you experience your son for the first time, like first, so glad you guys made it out of that. How was that feeling when you saw your son for the first time? What did that do for you?
First of all, he looked like a cone head, so that was funny. Well,
Sometimes it's just the pressure of birth
Yeah,
does it.
we had we went all the way to the edge on the natural side.
Okay.
So we went all the way to the edge and he couldn't come out.
Oh, okay.
So they had to do essentially an emergency C-section. And what we found out is when they did the C-section, his umbilical cord is wrapped around his leg. And so he wasn't able to descend. And so he had like halfway descended, so the cone had formed. But I actually have the moment I saw my son. Medical facilities are gonna hate me for this. I have the moment that I saw him for the first time on Meta glasses.
Oh, wow.
So like I threw the glasses on and I knew like because I'm holding her hand at the table and I'm like we're at the whole thing. So I press record on it and like the moment they lift him up over the sheet to show you I got that moment.
That's so dope.
Dude, that was so smart. I had the camera in hand, so the girl was like, "Yo, can you help me?" I'm like, "I'm trying to get the photo."
Nah,
Dude,
yeah,
I have
our
a time
midwife
lapse.
was cool. She was taking pictures too, but I have them from my perspective, and it's such a wild moment because this is weird. I saw like my father's face on my son when he came out for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "How do you look like an old man?"
No, my son too I didn't know if that was, I had a girl first.
Yeah.
And she didn't look like an old man. And so when I had my son, I'm like, I kept telling Rachel, I'm like, yo, he's dead ass an old man. Like he's literally a Mr. Actually, we call my son's name is Bear and we call him Mr. Bear. Cause when we were in the hospital, I called him, I'm like, yo, this is Mr. Bear. Like, nice to meet you, fam. Cause he had like the most old man face.
Yeah, it's swollen and wrinkled. And,
oh my god.
Yeah, dude, just literally a mister.
Yeah. Nah, I saw that moment and it was wild, man. Like obviously that birth is insane. Also just the C-section process, like what they do. Like, women's organs just are completely moved around. And there was a moment that the process was done and they were like sewing her back up and she started vomiting. And she started vomiting off to the side and you're using one of those suction hoses to get the vomit out, like almost like at the dentist.
Yeah.
They use that suction.
Uh-huh.
And then the nurse leans over to me, our midwife, she goes, "Don't worry, sometimes when they put the intestines back in place, it causes vomiting." I was like, whoa, what? They're putting the intestines back? Like,
wow.
These are the moments that made me just go, I had no idea what women are
going
through.
Women
what
are
happens to their bodies.
Gosh, bro.
Women are different.
Bro, my level of understanding and respect for like how insanely unique they are created and all the extra tools and gadgets they got. Yo, it's wild.
Yeah, women are, I mean, I just can't even believe what and even I didn't have a C-section, so I didn't share that sentiment, but watching my partner have to like learn to breastfeed while also having to waddle to the bathroom because she just got an episiotomy like that. I'm like, dude, you do that to me. Don't talk to me for weeks.
Nah, and then afterwards, this was a crazy moment too. My son came out, and because she was getting patched up and everything, like he had to come with me first.
Yeah.
So he's with me, and I'm like getting him weighed and all that stuff. And he's like, I'm holding him, and he looks up to me, and his mouth starts doing like the, looking for food. Starts kind of like grab, and I was like, yo, you just got here. How do you know?
No, they're ready. They're ready, bro.
How do you know how to like look for food like that? So then you think about just like what breast milk and all that stuff, what's created in that the moment that they're born,
Yeah.
colostrum, all the nutrients and the stuff that they need. It's just a fascinating process, bro. And it's blown my mind the entire time.
Man, no, we can definitely resonate with that and just the experience. It changes you instantly, bro. It's crazy. Just similar to what you were talking about, how you go from nobody else there to just somebody there.
Oh, yeah.
While your wife is still healing.
On the first episode, it's like they didn't exist.
Yeah.
And now there's just, there you go.
And now you're their sole responsibility.
Yeah,
it's just
that's right.
At every turn for the rest of your life is just so interesting.
Dude, it's like nothing else in the world.
Yeah.
I want to ask about, once you guys got home, how was that process? And as far as like, how was that first week for you in fatherhood? Was she still how was she recovering?
Yeah.
How were you maybe taking priorities of things? We talk about this, about Mal. For me, Mal strictly breastfed. So for me, I was like dishes, cleaning, like trying to do everything I can.
Yeah.
Diapers were my thing. You know, like I was like, I can't breastfeed him, but I could change his diapers. So
Right.
I kind of had this immense responsibility from the jump to like, this is my task and I'm going to like do
That's
it,
right.
you know?
And I'm going to do it good.
Yeah. Was there anything for you that you kind of maybe went towards?
So, man, that first, you're so tired. We were in the hospital for like 4 days. She labored for like 3 days, bro. It was crazy.
Oh, wow.
And you're so tired because
my God.
for me, the way that I would help during like the birthing process is she wanted me to massage her back, massage her feet, do like in between contractions and stuff. We were doing that for so long that like I was also getting tired from doing that. So like you're not sleeping and you're constantly, nothing compared to giving birth, but it was definitely like a push and pull for both of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're tired and you're trying to catch sleep. She's trying to catch sleep too. And it felt to me like some sort of like magical powers came over this woman because she was able to go without sleeping for so long. It was like a month where she would like sleep 2 hours maybe, a day. And I was like, how are you alive? What thing did you tap into? Because I'm about to pass out. So we had scheduled her mom to come in to help out, and that was huge. Just because, if we can have just a third person to pass the baby off to, so we could sleep for an hour or two, that was massive. So she helped out a ton, and then my job was to, try to make everything else around her easier. So me and her mom were trying to do dishes, food. We had a great community. We have a great community that was able to bring us meals, find out what we were into, and just like flood us. Here's a gift card for Uber Eats or something. Here's trays of food. People were just on that train of bringing stuff and helping out. But the first 3 months, essentially, once her mom left, it was really on. She was only there for like a week, I think, or maybe 2 weeks. After that, that's when you really start feeling the weight of the gauntlet. Yeah. It's like there's no extra help. Now this kid, because Christina is breastfeeding, needs to be attached to her for extended periods of time every 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get a break and get 3, maybe 4 hours, but nonstop. And so like that takes a lot of energy out of her. And it just made her like sleepless.
Are you working at the time? Like, and are you taking time off? Like,
I had scheduled to take time off, and then in between, if I would find a little pocket, a little window, I would try to answer some emails or some text messages or listen to something if I need to approve a mix of a song or something. Yeah, it felt like there was when we had the help, I could do a little bit more, Right. But I know, for some people, they're just like, I'm shutting everything down. I don't want to do anything. Yeah. I was in the middle of like relaunching my independent music career.
Yeah. You're going through a big transition. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of privilege in some people's situation, even like hearing that.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to go to work.
Right. Yeah. It's all about privilege, bro. And like the birth of my mom is helpful, and that's my village because I grew up with a single mom, but like no one else is there. Like no one lived with us. No one stayed with us. It really like I developed a saying. And I try to tell other fathers in this scenario, like you said, 2 weeks after your mother-in-law left, I'm like, no one's coming to save you, fam. Like I don't want to coddle you through this moment. You gotta get into it.
Yep.
you know, and like it's a sobering moment, bro. It's a very
for
sobering
sure.
moment.
And there's some, you know, and it's so funny. I say this as a joke, but I was like, oh, I get fathers who abandon kids. Like on some like,
God.
oh, you got it figured out. Yeah, just don't show up, and then you just go keep hanging out and do whatever you want, and not take any responsibility for your kid. They got it figured out. No, I say it as a joke, but it's like you see the pressure could really make people either step up and want to help out and be a better person for their spouse and for their kid, or make them go, yo, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with this. This is too much. I'm overwhelmed. And there might not be anybody else in their corner to help.
Yeah, that's such a show of character,
or be
though.
like, nah, this is part of it. So, you know, my criticism and my judgment for other people has also changed, you know, around it. Everyone says, you know, the best parent is the person without kids. They got all the answers.
Oh, yeah. They got all the answers.
Right?
They know every solution on how. That's what we talk about because he has now 202. It's like, yo, when you were talking about how you are a little bit more easy. Like,
yeah, I was hard on fathers, but I think I was more hard on fathers on like what they were doing. I was so hyper focused on like how you're doing it when I had my daughter. And now I'm more hard on fathers. Like, I don't care how you're doing it. You just better be doing something. You know what I mean? Because I realized like through the growth of my first daughter, I'm like, bro, no one's got this shit figured out.
Yeah, that's right.
Like none of us got it figured out, bro. You just got to show up and try. And you know, it's funny you bring up like dads that don't show. Like I didn't have a dad growing up because he went and got the milk and never came, you know, whatever it was. And like thinking about that, it's a true judge of character for me. Like I've been hard on people. You know, my sister's ex-boyfriend, he like saw his daughter once a week, right? And I never liked him. And they're not together, you know, and everyone was like, you never really liked him. I'm like, well, because I knew everything I had to know about him right there. In that moment, you know what I mean? And so like you showing up every day, even your girl's pregnancy, like knowing that you were there for her, that's a show of character for me, bro. I don't need anything else. I'm like, Andy's solid.
Yeah.
He just proved it, you know?
Active. It's crazy how much of an active decision I know you joke about that, but it's like, you know, from this day forward, when we have this baby, there's an active decision I got to make that I am no longer off. Yep. Ever. Like right. I am forever clocked in to fatherhood. Sure. And there's no like, I can have a weak moment or I could be like, man, I'm tired or all that. But like to really be a present father and to be like the father figure that you're trying to like create and almost for me, it's unlearning a lot of things that I learned from my dad. And like, I'm trying to be emotionally present. Yeah, my son's a year old, but how can I be present in this moment? And as I'm learning him and myself, it's just I'm discovering so much new things about myself.
Yeah,
but it's an active decision, like you just said.
And so much, I'm realizing this too, like so much of what makes you a person that shows up in any scenario, right? Whether it's having a kid or a friend who's going through something, it's all the work that you do before those moments get there, or you go through stuff and then you grow from them. But I remember, like, you know, I had spent time going to therapy, which is also a privilege. I spent time going to therapy in my late 20s, you know, and working through some stuff that helped me prepare for these moments. But I remember, like, I was bad at being emotionally present, right? Like, it's not something you, like, everybody, like, just some people have and some people don't. It's work. It's work to show up and to confront your own stuff, to tell the truth, you know, to be honest with yourself and other people. That's difficult stuff. And I remember, like, even one time I had a friend, right? He was going through something. He had just got his girl pregnant. This is his second kid. And he's, you know, he's down bad financially. He's not in a good place. And he's like sitting on the stoop where we're living in New York, and he just starts crying, right?
Ooh.
And he like leans into me, right? And I'm like, yo, it's all right, man. And I was doing this thing where I was just like patting him on the back, like, it's all right, man. It's all right. Like, by going to therapy later, what I was able to figure out was what I was really doing was I was trying to tell him, stop crying. Like, you know, like someone give you that hug and they start crying. You're like, all right, yeah, all right.
I'll get up with you.
Pat, like, all right, wrap it up.
Yeah.
It's because we don't want to sit in those feelings with those people.
Yeah.
We want it to be over. We want them to be okay so we could be okay.
Right.
And what I found out is, like, having empathy is when someone's not okay, you could be not okay with them.
Yeah, you're literally looking at life.
You can just sit there, let them have their moment, and you don't got to change it or stop it or do nothing. And when they look up, when they're done crying, you just sitting there like, yo, it's all good. I'm right here. That's the thing that emotion makes them go, someone's here for me. Yeah. And so, like, through Christina, I had to learn through that situation, like, how badly I handled it. Was like, guys don't want to sit in the tension or the difficulty of a moment because they want it to be over so that they can feel comfortable.
Wow. This is therapy right now for me.
When Christina was not feeling good, I was like, I want to fix it. Yo, be done with this so I can feel better, right? And really what I needed is to, like, sit there, cry with her. So there's this verse.
I might need to write this down.
There's this verse in the Bible that says, weep with those who weep, mourn with those who mourn. Right? One of the shortest verses, I don't mean to be like preachy, but this is just stuff that helped me through the empathy piece with my wife. The shortest verse in the Bible is Jesus wept. And I was like, yo, it's fascinating that this guy, Jesus, and it was in the context of his best friend Lazarus dies. And everyone's like, yo, Jesus could just raise him from the dead. Why'd he even cry? Right? If I'm like all powerful and I could raise somebody from the dead, it's like if they die, I'm like, I'm not crying about it. I got you. Just come back to life. He stopped and he cried. And that shows, like, when everyone was having the heartbroken moment of crying because their friend died or their brother died or their son died, he cried with them. And I'm like, yo, he didn't have to, but he did. And it shows, like, that level of empathy to, like, feel what somebody's feeling. So for me, as Christina was going through a lot of this process, I had to put aside my desire to just fix it. And sit in it with her and help out when I could, you know what I mean? So
it's crazy because we talk
pass
about
the bucket now and pay your offerings, okay? I just preached.
No, that was dope, bro. No, that I like that, bro. Like, before you go, Joe, I'll be vulnerable, bro. So much, and maybe it's because I got my girl pregnant 2 months after I met her, so I was still learning her, but I was so hard on her, bro. Like, it's gonna make me cry, bro. I was so hard on her, just telling her, like, but I wanted her to get better so I could. I'm like, damn, bro, like. There were in complete vulnerability, there were moments in the second trimester I couldn't believe that we couldn't have sex because she wasn't feeling good. You know what I mean? But I wasn't, like, emotionally intelligent. I was a 24-year-old boy.
Yeah.
And I didn't grow up with a father, and I was in the Army for 5 years, and all these things that hardened me so bad. I didn't have a relationship with God, and being in the infantry for 5 years will harden you in a way that, like, I just didn't understand. And
because having empathy doesn't help you on the battlefield.
No, bro. And so I lacked this empathy for this girl that, and there were times where she struggled, bro. And I owe her a conversation, bro. You did preach, bro. And you inspired me to, I mean, we're in a great place, bro. Me and my girl are in a great place. And I've repaired a lot of the damage that I probably did in the first pregnancy with the second. Cause I grew up a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm more empathetic to my daughter, and that's helped me. My daughter has taught me empathy because I'm not a baby, so I have to act like a baby and be there with her in that moment.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, bro, you just educated me a lot. And when Rachel listens to this, man, I love her, and I should have been there for her more, bro. But you don't know what you don't know.
It's interesting too because
how you responded is big. I don't mean to cut you off, Joe, but I just want to say, like, when you recognize that you did something wrong, like, we don't. This is what I'm realizing. No one's asking a guy to be perfect.
Right.
No one wants you to be, like, perfect from day one. Everyone's going to make the mistake. The thing is, how do you make the mistake, then recognize you did it, apologize for it, and correct it? That's what growth is. Because, like, nobody shows up knows how to do this thing perfectly. So, this is beyond just, like, marriage or whatever, or having a kid. That's in any situation. If you learn that you were wrong about something, the fact that you corrected it and changed it for the next time around is all that someone could ask for.
No, accountability is
I was never wrong. It's their fault, and then you don't correct anything. I mean, that's growth, and I commend that. Sorry to cut you off, Joe.
Thank you, bro. That was dope.
Absolutely. A little bit about that, tapping into empathy and just your overall development as a man and just a person in general. Was there any time, or has there been time where you're like, you've looked at your son and just really had to process how you think about yourself as a man, as a father now, and maybe what you're kind of instilling to him? To me, the reason why I ask that is because I think there's times where I look at my son and I'm like, it's a complete reflection of, like, who are you going to be? Who am I? Who am I going to contribute to who you become as well? And it's been I know he's only one, but I want, because of how I grew up and what I'm trying to unlearn and maybe fix and heal in some areas, Just trying to be a little bit more sensitive to that. Is there anything for you that you've maybe thought through or maybe wrestled with, maybe how you want that to go?
Yeah, I mean, I'm only 3 months in, so I like I got a buddy who told me yesterday he's got a kid, he's 2, and like his kid is starting to do his mannerisms or say his "come on, man." He's starting to say it back to him. He's like, "Oh my gosh, this kid's picking up things about me and it's becoming part of them."
Yeah.
So I think, but at 3 months, I'm just looking at this beautiful, innocent kid that just smiles when I have him. And that analogy of like, so I don't mean to keep pushing God on people, but like I believe in God. And so I know not everybody listens to this does, but that analogy of thinking like if God is like a father to us and I'm a father to this kid, it's changing the way I see myself and my relationship with my kid. You know, so I'm like, oh, my kid is hungry. Of course I'm going to feed them.
Yeah.
Right now I'm thinking like, oh, is that kind of how, you know what I'm saying? Is that how God sees us? So that analogy is like never ending. And Christina and I keep talking about it. Like, yo, did you peep that this thing was happening with him and how we showed up for him? And I was like, oh yeah, that's so I think that analogy is going to keep growing over the course of our parenting phase. But another one that really hit me is seeing a baby and then seeing a full-grown adult and knowing that everyone was this once jacks you up. So like I recently seen, you know, sometimes you'll see like not to get dark, but like you'll see like a fiend or like someone dealing with drugs on the street, right? Like they're slumped over, they're having a moment. You're reminded that they were a baby at one point.
Yeah.
And it messes you up because like there was such an innocent like just ball of I can't even hold my neck up and someone has to care for them and take care. And then all these experiences lead them to have these different choices in life. And these different choices open up different doors. Yeah. And you realize parenting is just helping your kid, hopefully, is like to make good choices. Yeah. You know, because every choice takes you down a different path. And when I look at some people that have had really difficult lives like that, I'm just like, how did you get from this beautiful, innocent kid to there? And it's just made me think, you know, we're thinking a lot more differently about, all right, like what kind of, are we going to show them screens? How do we want to develop their brain? You know, do we want to give them more analog things and keep screens and stuff away? Do we want to, you know,
play with wooden blocks? Yeah, it's everything, bro. Everything's a new decision, bro.
Again, because I'm only 3 months in, it's just I'm the 100-day gauntlet. I'm keeping them alive, but it does have me thinking about the next phase. Is like, how are we going to handle stuff? But what I like about the way that parenting is set up, Tripp said this to me one time. He goes, every phase like will start to prepare you for the next one. It's not like they come out the womb as a 5-year-old, right? And you're just like, whoa, how do I, you know? It's like even this is crazy. My kids doesn't stink.
Right.
Literally. I'm like, yo, it doesn't smell bad at first. And then when they start eating solids, it does. I'm like, yo, there's a process to it getting gnarlier.
You need every single day before the next. My girl always says that when people ask her, like, Rachel, what do I do? I'm pregnant. She's like, don't worry. You literally need every week before the next week.
Yeah. And it sets you up for the next one. So I'm believing that process, you know. I'll come talk to me in 12 years when he's a teenager.
Seriously. Yo, that's what we're trying to do.
See if the words stand true.
Absolutely. Talking a little bit more about like, you know, business and how you're, you know, you were in that transition. I know you just released your single, Okay, We Back, which is which was great, and congrats on that.
Thank you.
It seems like you're kind of coming out of like, you know, putting stuff out now and really trying to take in that season, doing lives, just really trying to create content and things like that. How has that maybe changed the way you think about that? Or are you in that season of like getting back to work, like and figuring that out? Or is it changing how you process those business and creativity at all?
Yeah, I decided to start a new business and have a kid at the same time. So I'm doing everything on hard mode. But it does, you know, I'm thinking about time differently for sure, because I would always notice this. Like now when I have my friends come over to like hang out, they just be floating, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yeah, so you know, think it's about to be over, and they leave and they just like lay up on the couch. And you're like, nah, we're done, bro. You gotta go. Like I gotta go help out now. And I would always sense that pressure from other people I knew who had kids, but now I get why it was always like, yeah, bro, that's love. Dad, all right, I'm gonna see you later. You
Yeah.
know? So now I'm a lot more conscious about like getting in and out if I gotta do stuff, because I gotta get back to helping out or relieve her, give her a break. And now starting to learn when our kid turns up, like that witching hour can be gnarly. They're starting to scream and all. So
your nights you're like, I'm not going out, like I'm not gonna be out here like
nah,
late
because my
studio
job,
nights.
I'm
Like,
doing the night shifts. So that gives her the opportunity to sleep. So like midnight to like 6 a.m. ish, I'm doing all the bottle feeds and stuff so she can get a night's rest. And then she takes a little more of the daytime so I can go to work.
yeah.
And then like this weekend, I had to shoot 2 music videos. So we shot Saturday, Sunday, and we're gonna shoot a little bit today when we're done with this. But in that, we were like, now I got to schedule things out. Yo, can someone come over and help her in the morning so that I could dip out? And then she had to thug it out last night, but she knows it's not forever. And I think that's been a phrase for us that's been helping too, is like, this is really difficult, but this isn't always going to be the way it is.
Yep.
So like we can do it. You know what I'm saying? And that attitude has been very helpful for her. She told me from me is that it's not what do you call that, like deterministic or like fatalistic. It's like, this is just my life now. It's like, dude, chill. It's only a few months like this, and then you get into a new phase. You figure something else out. So,
right.
It's just interesting though, because in that moment when you're in those first few months, everything is just so real. It's just so like on a deeper level.
Yeah,
like it's like,
true.
Are they breathing? Are they like everything is just so much more.
Yeah.
You're hyper aware of everything, bro. And so I get that. Like it's like it can feel like eternity if you're just like, oh, I'm gone for 2 hours. It's like, yo, this is a lot. Like it's just a lot. You're processing it. You're like mental. It's more mental. It's not like the craziest physical work. It's like, yo, mental. I'm the sole parent right here. My wife was gone for a few days, and it's like I'm the only person here that's his safety. Right now. You think about that way differently. Like, am I gonna wake up? Like, it's just like just putting that responsibility on yourself is like.
I when I was a baby, like in a bad spot, my mom was a young mom. She had my brother at 16 and me at 18.
Yeah.
And we lived in a motel with my grandma who had a potbelly pig who slept on the other bed, so we slept on the floor. This isn't a long time.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So, no, I grew up in LA. This is in LA. My mom grew up hard, bro. I didn't grow up hard because my mom grew up hard, if that makes sense. But those first years when my mom was 19 and 20 years old, I lived in a motel and my grandma was, shout out my grandma. They have a good relationship now. But my grandma she was strung out sometimes. I'm going to keep it honest.
Yeah.
And so she's like, the pig gets the bed. And so we slept on the floor. And so like, bro, I get it. It's like, we're so resilient. Babies are so resilient. And I grew up and me and my mother are tight and you guys are doing the right thing, bro. And giving your kid anything, giving your kid presents, that's all my mom could give me was presents. And my mom is my superhero, bro. I'd do anything for the woman.
Straight up.
But she couldn't give me everything,
Straight up, yeah. We don't have to have every gadget. We don't have to have everything. It's like for centuries.
Yeah.
We have prospered even in the most difficult situations, like having parents that were in the right place at the time. You know what I'm saying? So that just always makes me go, okay, we're showing up, we're trying to be here and trying to be healthy. Even in the worst case scenarios, children are able to grow up and thrive, right? So it reminds me like that Teflon, and almost to trust like that instinct a little bit. Like they had instincts to know the moment that they came out that they needed to eat. I was like, I think there's some instincts that kick in for the mom and the dad as well to provide and protect.
Yeah, no, I definitely, those instincts just come out of nowhere. You're like, yo, I didn't know I could tap into this. Like, I didn't know I can get into this. Like how you said with Christine, it's like, I didn't know I can get in. I didn't know you could stay up like that. I didn't know there's like a lot of those things that you go through. You're like, I didn't know I could do this.
The word we say, like how you say, remember, is like, we're primal, bro. I tell my girl, I'm like, we're primal, fam.
Yeah.
Like, we're primal. Like, you don't understand. Like, I look at my girl and I'm like, yo, gut up. Like, we're primal. We got this. You know what I mean? Like, let's go sit in the forest. Like,
your ancestors were ready for this. You're good.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So, I get it.
Man, I appreciate this conversation, Andy. As we kind of wrap it up, I got just a few more questions. Really just thinking through introspectively from you, like what's something you're healing now that you're a dad?
I think it's kind of what we talked about a little bit about earlier is my empathy for other people. Now that I have a kid and I know that everyone started this way, that like I think I'm a little less critical of people
Yeah.
because I know, like, I've had to ask myself this: how come I didn't turn out like my dad? I didn't. So for context, I didn't have a great relationship with my dad. He wasn't around almost at all, and it was like, how do you not turn out like him? And I go, man, because I have such a great community now.
Mm.
I have a great community of guys, fathers, friends. I have more resources on the internet. You know what I'm saying? I have more accountability. And I'm like, yo, just a few different choices, and I'm in the same exact boat that he was in, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what we think, what we try to think is when we get in our self-righteous bag is like, we're just better than other people. And it's like, that's not true. You may have just had a different path. And so it's made me less critical because I would try to dunk on dads too, you know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
Yep.
but just when I saw my son and I saw my dad's face in it, it messed me up. Because I was like, my dad started like this, and I wonder what happened to him as a kid and all the things that shaped him to make him the person he is. So I think I'm healing some of that. A little more empathetic, a little more forgiving, I think.
I love that.
That's dope, bro.
And then a couple more questions. What would you say to a soon to be dad listening right now? Maybe that's in your experience, or maybe that's just stepping into, that those first few weeks of uh, pregnancy, or even just in this first season of 3 months that you're in.
To a soon to be dad, man, what an exciting time. This is like, I've been saying this. I want to give encouragement because like this is one of the greatest things like life can offer you.
Yeah.
Like after
Absolutely.
I had a kid, I was like, dang, there's a handful of experiences that like if I get to my deathbed and I'll be like, yo, I got to do this, this, and this. This is like some of the best stuff that life offers. Having a kid is one of them.
Hmm.
So like you're about to have one of the gnarliest primal experiences that connect you to your ancestors and the history of humans ever. And you're about to bring something in the world, a person that you get to have as a half you and half the other person, and they are going to become their own person, and they have the potential to change the world or to become. It's just an incredible ball of opportunity, and like we should just look at that with excitement and happiness, and know that even when the times are difficult, because obviously everything has its difficult moments, marriage, friendship, all that. Like the difficult stuff doesn't define the process. It's just part of it, and it makes you grow and makes you become a better person. And it's like, see all of this with a lens of positivity instead of like the dread that can sometimes come over people. You know, it's like, yo, so much responsibility. It's like, yeah, you're gonna step up. You're gonna do great. Like, lean in, try to find the resources, and let it shape you. And so it's such an incredible experience, man. It's hard to describe. It's been difficult, but it's also, dude, holding my son and having him smile at me and laugh. I don't Probably top 5 experiences of my life. Having my newborn son fall asleep across my chest while we're watching the NBA finals, top 5 experience of my life. I mean,
Yeah.
this is stuff that is like the best stuff on the planet, and you guys are about to step into it. So enjoy it, is what I would say.
That's amazing.
I
No,
don't
it's
even know how you let a baby sleep on you when SGA was doing like I was going like Halliburton gets hurt. I just don't know how you let him sleep.
man, we appreciate your time, and man, we're just so happy for your journey, that you and Christina are doing well now, and that your son is just growing. Man, it's really encouraging for us. We really want to just repaint the picture of what modern fatherhood looks like, and kind of normalize these conversations and,
Yeah.
and these experiences for.
Nah, guys need friends, man. They need places to talk. And I think what's cool is the more people you have on, people are gonna be at different phases. Like you getting me at the 3 month right now, and this is the only time I'll be in this 3 month
Yeah.
ever.
Yep,
You know what I mean?
definitely.
Except for
Yeah,
if I have
yeah.
another one. But then you guys are at a year, you're a couple years in. It's like there's gonna be something for everybody along the path. And I think over time, as you collect episodes, guys will be able to hear all the different phases, all the way up to teenagers and stuff like that. So I hope this becomes a resource, man. I think what you guys are doing is awesome, and I appreciate y'all letting me contribute a little bit.
Man, thank you so much. Before we let you go, what's next for you in fatherhood, or just maybe as an artist, business owner? What do you have coming up, and what can we look out for?
Yeah, so I launched my own record label, Minor League Recordings and Tapes, and I just released the second single. The first one was last month, This one was Return of the Okay We Back, which I got to sample Return of the Mac, that huge classic record from the 90s, and I got it cleared by a miracle. We got it cleared, and that just came out. We shot the video for it this weekend. And yeah, for me, what it means is now we're trying to drop songs every single month and put out great content. I'm doing some streaming on Monday nights with my boy John, and doing a little more work from home, but just trying to do all of this and still continue to live out my dream, express my creativity, and then bring my family along for the journey and try to show up for them the way I show up for everything else, fully present and with all my energy. So trying to figure it out. Somebody told me this is being an artist on hard mode. I'm ready.
Yeah. We love
You're
it, bro.
doing good, bro.
Thank you so much for your time, man.
Appreciate y'all. Oh, and my Baby Zaddy account I launched.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the Baby Zaddy
I should tell you
account.
that.
Yeah.
I launched an Instagram account just to make fun of dadfluencers and try to get free stuff for my kids. So it's pretty great. I'm over there doing sketches.
Give me a product that you like right now or something that
I got to plug, dude, diapers. Kudos.
Yeah.
Hit me, man.
Okay.
Just send
Kudos,
some.
okay.
So thank you guys for having me, man. It was great.
All right, bro.
Of course,
Appreciate
thank
it.
All right, y'all. Peace.